On September 24th, 2009, I had the opportunity to sit down with Director of Plant Operations, David Sims, to talk to him about the recent construction here at Macon State. When I asked him about the old buildings, here's what he had to say.
The old buildings were built in 1967. They consisted of the Education Building, the Information Technology Building, and the Educational Technology Center. And these were three old facilities that had never been renovated, had their original mechanical systems, and after study it was determined that we could not reconfigure these buildings to meet the program for the Teacher Education Building.
He went on to say that it was more economical to remove the buildings rather than renovate them because of these reasons.
Major renovations of all the mechanical, electrical, plumbing systems, but the main point there is that the floor to ceiling heights, the location of the exits, etc., all added up to tell us that we could not renovate those buildings to meet the program of the Teacher Education Building. It just didn't make sense to renovate them.
And what was to go on the nice clean site, you say? Well, here's David Sims once again to tell us more.
On that clean site, we're going to build a School of Education building. And the building's going to be 80,000 square feet. And to give you a comparison, the new Professional Sciences building is just over 100,000 square feet. We completed that building in January.
He went on to say that this will be an education facility where the teachers' offices will be and the majority of their classrooms will be. Now you might ask, when will construction begin? Here's David with the answer once again.
Depends entirely upon when the bonds sell.
The bonds?
That is correct. The GO bonds for this project are scheduled at this time for sometime in November to sell. And if that takes place, construction will start either December of 2009 or early in 2010. The construction process is an 18-month process, so depending from the start date, whenever that is, and we hope it'll be soon, whenever we start, 18 months later, the School of Education faculty will move in.
He went on to say that the demolition process took a couple of months and it went very smoothly, and that they worked hard to minimize the inconvenience for students. And what was the deal with the gates in the east parking lot?
Minimize the construction area, and as with any construction project, you have to have a lay-down space, place to put the steel, place to put the air handlers, place to put all the materials that come. All that has to be planned by the construction manager, who is Chris R. Sheridan in this case, and all that has to be planned in advance, and so we have a very limited amount of lay-down space for this project. That's why we took a row of parking in the east parking lot. Now, it was for lay-down space, and the second and the most important reason is we did it for safety, because if you've noticed during the demolition, what we did was every vehicle that worked on the site was required to come off of College Station Drive, come in at the tennis courts, and drive through that area of parking. So safety was a first concern there. We didn't want concrete trucks and steel trucks just running all over campus. On Eisenhower Parkway, we have a sign posted, construction entrance, and all the subcontractors know in advance that that is the route that they are to come into campus and leave campus. And so that's the reason.
He went on to say that once the construction starts, the green tarp will go back up and the row of parking will be blocked off once again. The new education building is going to be 3 stories, and it will primarily be classrooms. And the blueprints that you see are the actual plans for the new education facility. When I interviewed some students about their views on the construction, Kathy Miller had this to say.
I think it's a wonderful idea, actually. I mean, they demolished the old information technology building and the old education building over there, and the School of Education is here in the Student Life Center right now, but they're planning on building a new building for the School of Education, and it's going to house a couple of other educationally minded businesses. I do believe the Middle Georgia RESA is going to be in there, RESA is going to be in there, so it's going to be a great thing. I mean, just like the Professional Sciences Complex when that opened up, it's a great thing for Macon State. It shows we're moving forward and, we're growing.
Get ready, because it's not long until the construction will resume. How will the buildings turn out? Wait and see. Reporting from Macon, I'm Chris Rogers, MSC-TV.